Hello there, and welcome to my channel where I read unhinged stories from all over the web, but honestly, more often than not from Reddit. We are doing another themed video and today it's all about gross stories. So buckle up. The first story is from TIFU. Today I fudged up by mistaking my coffee thermos for my wife's. Obligatory, this didn't happen today, but happened a while back. So for Christmas, my wife got her and me matching coffee thermoses. Hers was copper tinted, mine was stainless steel. Apart from that, they were identical. I loved it, but after a while, being the absent-minded person that I am, mine goes missing. No biggie, I said to myself, my wife is staying home today, I'll just take her thermos to work. So I fixed me up a nice thermos full of black coffee, and headed out the door to work. This particular day was rather busy, and I had meetings back to back pretty much all morning. I had my thermos and laptop in tow, and was migrating from one conference room to another, when I realized I needed to run to the urination station. So, I dropped off my laptop and thermos, ran and relieved myself, then stopped back by my cubicle to pick up a couple of reports for the meeting. While sorting the papers at my desk, I reach over and grab for my thermos and take a big swig of coffee. Immediately, a few alarms and thoughts went through my head. This coffee got pretty cold pretty fast today. That's odd. Also, I don't remember putting any cream or sugar in it this morning. That's odd. Also, what is this texture? At this point, still mid-gulp, I shift my eyes down to the top of the thermos, which has a clear plastic lid, and I notice a very large floating blob of mold, which I had just taken a sizable chunk out of. Also, I notice the thermos is stainless steel, not copper-colored. This was my coffee that had been sitting on my computer desk, in plain sight, for a month. Oh no, I thought as I immediately reach for the trash can to try and lurch the coffee back out, but to my disappointment it would not come back up. So, I run to the bathroom and try a full-on puking position to try and get it back up. Again, no luck. I just knew I was going to get deathly ill, but, actually, I didn't get sick beyond the mental stress of having just consumed an entire family of slimy, chunky mold spores and rotten cream. TLDR. Took my thermos to work, forgot about it. Took my wife's to work a few weeks later. Accidentally drank from my month-old coffee and got a nice dose of penicillin and rotten cream. Edit. My apologies to anyone I made chunder this morning. Edit 2. For clarification, I just borrowed my wife's thermos, filled it with fresh coffee, and took it to work. Hers wasn't the moldy one. Mine was, as it had been setting at my desk for a month. Ew. This made me gag. That is absolutely disgusting. I have no idea how you wouldn't throw up after that. I mean, wouldn't your body do that automatically? Plus, didn't he smell it before he drank it? I mean, I would think the smell of 1-month-old rotten milk would slap you in the face immediately after you open the thermos. Ew. That's just nasty. I'm going to be thinking about that all day now. Do you guys ever get so grossed out by something that you keep thinking about it all day? I honestly don't think anything else can top that today. So, let's move on to our next story before I throw up. Am I the a-hole for putting my dog's wee-wee pads on the bathroom floor because my boyfriend has bad aim and keeps missing the toilet? My boyfriend, 30 male, and I, 28 female, have been together about a year, and when our city implemented lockdown for the virus, he decided to quarantine with me at my apartment as I live alone and have a nicer apartment and he has several roommates. Mostly it has been going well and thankfully we both still have jobs, except in the first few weeks I started noticing that the bathroom floor was suddenly always wet around the toilet. The sink is across the room from the toilet, so it's unlikely to be from the sink. At first I thought it might be water, but soon realized that it was definitely pee. I asked boyfriend about it nicely, and he apologized and said sometimes he has bad aim. I asked him to try a little harder and he said sure. The floor continued to be frequently spattered with piss, and a few weeks later I confronted him about it again because I think it's pretty gross to step in his pee several times a week, and it seems like an easy thing to fix. If he misses the toilet, I think the very least he could do is make sure to wipe it up with toilet paper or a Clorox wipe. The cleaning supplies even live in a cabinet directly over the toilet. He said sure, sorry, he would try to remember to do that. Another week has passed and while maybe he's doing this sometimes, I've continued to step in splatters of his pee and wipe it off the floor and clean the floor several times a week. I thought about asking him to just pee into the bathtub or something instead, because I don't understand how you can pee on the floor by accident so often and not notice and not clean it up. Last night I got up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night and absolutely stepped in piss for the millionth time. I had it and I didn't want to pick a fight or ask him again since it seems clear he can't or won't change, so I got one of my dog's wee-wee pads from when he was a puppy, he is well trained now, and cut it up a bit and taped it down to make a sort of skirt or mat around the floor near the toilet to at least absorb the piss. Boyfriend saw this morning and is furious with me, saying that I'm calling him a dog, comparing him to an animal, etc. Honestly, I was not thinking that at all. I just was trying to be resourceful and solve the problem for myself since I don't like piss on my bathroom floor and don't like stepping in it. I didn't feel like arguing about it anymore, and putting a material specifically meant to absorb pee around the area he keeps peeing on by accident seemed like a practical solution. Am I the a-hole? No, she is not. UGHH. This is just nasty. Maybe OP intention was not to call him a dog, but honestly, he sure is behaving like one. Peeing all over the floor? A grown man? The strange thing is that this is not the first time I've heard of grown men doing this. I mean, I get it. Sometimes there is splashing or your aim is not great. But, just grab some tissue paper and clean it up for God's sake. Leaving it there without regard of how it impacts others is just immature and inconsiderate behavior. Do any of you guys listening to this do this? If so, stop it right now. It is gross and so disrespectful. What do you guys think? And, do any of you men listening have any other solutions for this? And, by the way, I don't think OP is the a-hole, but I do think her boyfriend is. Moving on to the next story. My boyfriend is gross. My 26 female boyfriend, 33 male, is honestly so gross sometimes. He has a perpetually stuffy nose and I have found his boogers on walls, in the shower, on hand towels etc. Whenever I hear him blow his nose I get triggered. This morning we are in bed sleeping and I hear him blow his nose like 6 times. Loud as hell etc. I turned around on the last one because it was annoying and there is nothing visible that he's blowing his nose into. So I asked him where the fuck he's blowing his nose and he says his hand. He has been blowing his nose and wiping his boogers God only knows where. On the blanket we both sleep with? The sheets? I am sick and disgusted thinking about this. He's M33 I'm F26. We've been together a bit over a year. Probably approaching 1.5 years, however we just moved in together 3 weeks ago. I knew he was gross, but I just can't do this. It makes me so repulsed that I can hardly fathom having sex etc. Especially since there are probably boogers on out fucking bed. Every time I bring this up he gets defensive and says he can't help his nose is stuffy etc. Part of this was just venting, but what would you guys do if this was your partner? Leave him. That is what I would do. I'm sorry, I know there is more to a relationship than hygiene but this is disgusting. He is not a child. He is a grown man. And, honestly, aside from the fact that this is absolutely disgusting, it also shows a lack of maturity and consideration for others, especially you, his partner. It's one thing if you were okay with your own mucus being all over you but assuming, and dare I say, expecting your partner to be okay with that too? That's just, I don't know what. Do people really do these things? Tell me guys, do they? What do you guys think? Do you think it's grounds for a breakup? But, more importantly, have any of you ever done anything like this? On second thought, if you have, please don't tell me. I still would like to hold out on some hope for humanity. Well, I'm sorry guys, I've had enough. I'm ending this right here. Don't forget to come back for more crazy stories. And feel free to submit your own stories. Nothing gross please. Or suggest other subreddits where I can find even more unhinged content. And, remember to subscribe, like, comment and share if you are enjoying these stories. Catch you next time.